I'm gonna go out that way because I want to see what the heck is over here. Well, that's bad. Oh, I don't even know if that's gonna be open. I know it was closed for a while. I can go down Queen Gate, which is one of the streets to that part of things.
Brake lights on southbound 101 coming out of Palo Alto into Mountain View, but no new incidents to report. That back up in Foster City. Eastbound 92 because of a stall on the San Mateo Bridge right on the incline is clear and has now completely recovered. Listen to KCBS wherever you go. Download the Odyssey app and follow us to stay in the know. Next update, 528 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
We have your Mancini Sleep World 6-day forecast. Visit Mancini Sleep World during our year-end clearance events or visit sleepworld.com. We had that high surf peaking earlier today, but it's still dangerous. Don't turn your back to the waves is what the meteorologists and first responders are telling you. The warning is still in effect until early tomorrow morning. We had some flooding, damage to roads along the coast in Santa Cruz County, but there is another potent system arriving tomorrow around noon. Rain and wind throughout Friday afternoon, and that's going to turn to scattered showers for your Saturday morning with a chance of a thunderstorm. Cloudy for the last day of the year Sunday, but dry. And then we kick off a new year on a dry note. That's not going to last long, though. There's another system in the forecast by Wednesday with wet and breezy conditions. Traffic and weather together on the 8s on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
We have more now in the Thursday Evening News Watch.
We are getting word that a judge has issued a ruling allowing Assemblyman Vince Fong of Bakersfield to run in the congressional district that was being held by former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. For more, we are joined live on the KCBS Ring Central Newsline by Jeremy B. White, Senior California Politics Reporter with Politico. Jeremy, it's so great to talk with you again.
Thanks for having me.
So we should put some context to this because he already is running for re-election in the Secretary of State in California said, no, you can't do that. And now the judge says, oh, yes, you can. I guess my obvious question is, what happens if he wins both races?
It's a great and confusing question. It has been a really head-spinning couple of weeks. The now former speaker declaring close to the deadline that he was not going to run for re-election. It initially was widely presumed that an area state senator would run to succeed him, so Vince Fong said he was going to run for re-election to the Assembly. That state senator, Shannon Groves, said never mind. Vince Fong reversed course and said he would run for Congress. Secretary of State said you can't do both. And today, minutes before when the Secretary of State was expected to send out that certified list of candidates, we had a ruling from a judge saying, in fact, the Secretary of State's logic for barring Vince Fong from the congressional ballot was invalid. And so it has been as sort of uncertain and tumultuous of a campaign filing period as I can remember.
So what does the Secretary of State do now? She can appeal that ruling to a higher court, and what does that do to her only list of qualified candidates that she was about to distribute?
To be truthful with both of you, this is such a fast developing situation. This ruling was handed down about half an hour ago. We have not yet from the Secretary of State's office. But keep in mind that there is a very limited window for them to maneuver here. The March primary, March may seem like it's a while away, but there's a whole cascading series of steps of notifying county election officials, printing and sending out ballots. Remember, every voter is mailed a ballot, which really sort of starts the voting process weeks beforehand. There's not a whole lot of room to maneuver here. This court hearing today was as down to the wire as it kind of gets in the first place. This whole chain of events being set off really by Kevin McCarthy making this decision at the 11th hour. And so I'm not sure how much room there is for the Secretary of State to contest this decision at this point.
It sounds as though the judge was citing an election code here in California that prohibits candidates from withdrawing their papers, which is fascinating to me. I never knew until this past half hour in your reporting that was actually the case in the state. Why is there a California law preventing candidates from just pulling their papers from running for election or re-election?
You know, this is just what the judge determined to be in the statute. California has had a sort of evolving system of election law for the last decade plus with things like the top two primary. And so a situation like this really did put us in uncharted waters in a lot of ways, where a candidate said he was going to run for re-election, and then after the deadline said, wait, I want to run for this other seat. And so it really did put us in this very legally and politically uncertain area. I will say this, assuming that Vince Vaughn is indeed on the ballot to run for Congress, there is a fairly strong chance that is your next congressman representing Kevin McCarthy's former seat. And so certainly I think if you're Vince Vaughn, you are maybe cracking the champagne open a little early tonight.
Jeremy B. White, you have done such a fantastic job helping us make sense of a ruling that just came down. Breaking news. Jeremy is senior California politics reporter with Politico.
We are on to the Money Watch now. Jason Brooks of Intel is cooling off. Intel shares pulled back for the second straight day after popping Tuesday on word of a multi-billion-dollar grant from Israel to build a new semiconductor plant in the country. Profit takers are likely at work as Intel stock has surged higher by nearly 15% over the past month. Investment firm Argus Research isn't worried about the stock having overheated, boosting Intel's stock price target by $18 to $60, $10 above the current level, on the belief that the Santa Clara firm's new artificial intelligence processors should help Intel accelerate AI everywhere. Argus also likes the new foundry planned for Israel, saying it should continue Intel's plan to become a major player in the semiconductor manufacturing space. Intel shares down about 1% today, and overall a mixed day for the stock market. The S&P came within a few points of setting a fresh all-time high, but it finished higher by only 1 point. The Dow gained 53, the NASDAQ down by 4. On the Money Watch, Jason Brooks, KCBS.
Timing is everything, and now is the time to buy, California, during the year-end sell-a-thon at your California Ford dealers. It's time for our biggest offers of the year on the entire Ford lineup of trucks and SUVs, like the built Ford Tough F-150, part of Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years and counting, or the adventure-ready Ford Bronco Sport with GOAT modes to help you conquer the great outdoors, and the always electrifying Ford Mustang Mach-E with 0 to 60 thrills and 0 emissions. Now's the time to buy during the year-end sell-a-thon at your California Ford dealers with exclusive offers on your favorite Ford vehicles. And now is your time to get behind the wheel of the Ford truck or SUV you've always wanted. But time is running out. These offers absolutely end on January 2nd. Visit your California Ford dealer today, based on 1977 to 2022 calendar year total sales.
Since first opening its doors in 1964, Fremont Bank has approached banking with a simple idea in mind. Growth comes one customer at a time. You see, while some institutions might be on the lookout for the next big thing, we like to think that's what you'll be. And when you achieve great things, it leads to success throughout the community. It also allows us to continue our tradition of giving back to the region. It's a strategy that's proven successful for nearly 60 years, and we expect to continue success for years to come. Fremont Bank, putting the community in community banking.
Haven't filed tax returns for years? Think you can't have a life? Think again. You've heard me say that to you for years. Let us take this burden off of you, your family, your business, and solve it for you. You never have to have this problem again, no matter how many years you haven't filed a tax return. This is a very common situation, and we have tremendous experience in helping people and businesses solve this. You can have a normal life now. Don't have your records, or your records are in a mess? Former spouse, partner, or bookkeeper always used to do everything for you? Don't know how to account for crypto? Don't have the money to pay your taxes? No problem. We'll get all the records that the government has on you. We can help you with your back and future accounting, or just do it for you. And if you're unable to pay your taxes, we'll explain all of your various options, and then we'll negotiate the best option for you. Call Moskowitz LLP at 888-TAX-DEAL. That's 888-TAXDEAL. 888-TAX-DEAL or MoskowitzLLP.com. Moskowitz.LLP.com.
CBS News Time 5:28. We're headed to the Golden Gate Bridge. We're going to check out how things are going there with Kim in your local Honda dealer's traffic center. At last, things are going well. After a difficult few hours, we had a couple of earlier incidents, a medical emergency. Early this afternoon at the North Tower started all the delay. That was northbound. Then we had a crash at Vista Point. Then we had the zipper truck changing lanes back and forth. Right now, your ride in and out of Marin County looks just fine. No delays and no new incidents to report. Nothing out of the ordinary for your ride on the Bay Bridge. It's starting to crowd up on the upper deck. check, people coming into the city, but no new incidents in either direction. The East Shore Freeway has also been doing fine. It's certainly crowded, the lower portion of Interstate 80 between Berkeley and Emeryville especially, but we haven't had any bad crashes to report. I did mention a crash on Interstate 80 in Vacaville involving a motorcycle earlier, westbound Interstate 80. It's gone now, and some brake lights in Fairfield eastbound approaching Manuel Campos, but no incidents in Fairfield either. Next update at 5:38 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
The high surf peaked earlier today, but the warning is still in effect, and there's another system moving into the Bay Area tomorrow. More measurable rain compared to earlier this week. It's going to arrive right around noon tomorrow, bring rain and wind, turning to scattered showers for Saturday. Traffic and weather together on KCBS.
It's not often that something you like is actually good for you. Take sleeping on your side. Studies indicate that side sleeping can help with nighttime breathing. At European Sleepworks, they have many options to help side sleepers create the comfort and stability they need. From their unique contoured mattresses to their patented custom-fit oxygen pillows. After all, for over 50 years, they've been working on your side, and that's a good thing. European Sleepworks at Adeline and Ashby in Berkeley, or online at sleepworks.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
News that matters to you around the Bay, around the world, around the clock. All news 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS. Coming up on KCBS, Maine has become the second state to remove former President Donald Trump from its primary ballot. The latest from CBS News in seconds.
And a best-selling author goes above and beyond to let 2 North Bay Bookstores employees know they're appreciated.
I'm Patty Rising.
And I'm Brett Burkhardt.
CBS News special report. Former President Trump will be removed from the primary ballot in Maine under the insurrection clause of the 14th Amendment. The Trump campaign says it will appeal. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosendahl.
This was not a court proceeding. It was a hearing before Maine's Secretary of State, the official that usually regulates statewide elections. Maine allows the Secretary of State to disallow candidates without a court or legislative ruling.
CBS News contributor and election law expert David Becker points out.
She also, understanding the import of this rule, stayed the decision pending judicial review in the Maine courts, knowing that this is just the first step of an overall review.
The provision used in Maine is the same one cited recently by the Colorado Supreme Court to remove Trump from the ballot in that state. However, Trump will now remain on the Colorado ballot while state Republicans appeal the ban to the U.S. Supreme Court. CBS News special report. I'm Jennifer Kuiper. We have more now on the Thursday Evening News Watch.
Supporters of Mayor London Breed are angry over a rap video which they say disrespects the mayor and her work she's done for the city. The rapper and restaurant owner who made the video says the rap was in response to repeated burglaries, and he has since apologized on Instagram. KCBS's Jade Hernandez is in San Francisco with more.
The music video on YouTube now has more than 17,000 views, but the apology of sorts came in an Instagram post.
I like to openly and publicly make apology regarding my actions.
Chino Yang owns 2 restaurants in San Francisco. He says he's been burglarized 7 times since 2020. In the rap, he calls out Mayor London Breed for turning the city into what he calls a zombie land. On Instagram, he discusses feeling pressured.
Lately, I have been receiving a lot of threats, especially from someone extremely powerful, someone who has the connection to president.
This post angered Reverend Amos Brown, a longtime activist. Today, he gathered together Breed supporters from the Chinese, Filipino, and Latino communities at Third Baptist Church a few blocks from one of Yang's restaurants. He took Yang's criticism of the mayor very personally. One of Breed's supporters understands Yang's frustration, Leanna Louie.
I actually used to own a restaurant. I was been like only one time, but that was one time a little too much.
Yang wrapped up his apologies like this.
I am just a civilian, but I do have my constitutional rights.
Jade Hernandez, KCBS. At a time when folks are trying to decide their resolutions for the new year, AAA is challenging Northern California drivers to leave risky behind-the-wheel behaviors behind in 2023. CBS's Shannon Golden tells us what bad habits drivers should resolve to ditch in the new year.
AAA's latest traffic safety culture index shows that most people know the dangers of risky driving behaviors, yet they continue to do them. Spokesman John Trainer said things have gotten worse since the pandemic.
20% of drivers admitted to distracted or aggressive driving behaviors. That means textbook driving or running red lights or changing lanes during the
A higher percentage than previous years, and 7 out of 10 respondents don't know about slow down, move over laws, which require drivers to change lanes when approaching stopped emergency vehicles.
It is very dangerous for those first responders, those emergency personnel, to be walking on the side of the road.
I spoke with one driver, Rachel. I used to be an EMT. We would have people race the ambulance, and half of respondents would still speed even if they might get pulled over, and more than 70% admitted they've driven under the influence despite acknowledging the dangers.
It is putting someone's life in jeopardy, but many people still do it.
Trainer encourages people to be especially safe when celebrating the new year and to never get into the driver's seat if you've been drinking. In San Francisco, I'm Shannon Golden, KCBS.
California is looking to stabilize its insurance market during the next year, but the industry says it's going to take too long. State Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara expects to have the system overhauled by next December, requiring 85% of insurance policies to be offered in high-risk areas. The insurance industry doesn't like the reforms, says the commissioner's plan will take too long to fix a market that is close to collapsing. Consumer Watchdog isn't happy either, arguing that the plan will allow companies to charge homeowners more without transparency. Several insurance companies have stopped renewing policies for homes in California, citing wildfire risks and the high cost of rebuilding.
We're less than 3 minutes away from another look at KCBS traffic and weather together.
Most online dating profiles are works of fiction. At It's Just Lunch, we are all about fun, real-life dates set up by real dating experts. Save the fiction for your nightstand and call It's Just Lunch today. Visit itsjustlunchsanfrancisco.com or call 415-989-9818. Cover California is a free service from the state that's already helped millions of people like you get and pay for health insurance. Would financial help to lower the cost of health coverage? You could get a quality health plan for less than $10 a month. Every plan covers preventive care, doctor visits, emergency care, and more. If you have questions, we're here to help every step of the way. Cover California, this way to health insurance. Enroll by December 31st at coveredca.com.
Hi, this is Steve Wagstaff, San Mateo County District Attorney. The 2023 holiday season is here, and I am urging you not to ruin your holidays by driving drunk this New Year's Eve. Decide who's going to drive before you go out. Take Samtrain, Caltrain, or call a rideshare. Whatever you do, don't get behind the wheel if you've had a couple of drinks, and don't get into a vehicle with a drunk driver. From everyone here in the DA's office, we wish you all a safe New Year, and remember, don't drink and drive.
What if you could slash your electric bills nearly in half? You can! Semper Solaris is offering a new Solar Plus battery program that can cut your electric bill up to half. Here's how. We'll install solar panels and a battery at no cost to you. You only pay for the electricity your new panels produce. You'll save thousands of dollars on your electric bill. There's nothing for you to own or maintain. There's nothing for you to repair. There's nothing to worry about. You just pay a significantly lower electric bill. It's the simplest and easiest program that'll save you thousands of dollars starting day one. Semper Solaris is your local veteran-owned solar and battery installer. We get the job done right with esprit de corps and honor. You don't have to buy a Solar Plus battery system. You don't have to worry about fixing or maintaining it. You don't have to worry about anything. Slash your electric bills by up to half. Call 415-367-0747 or visit SemperSolaris.com. No more credit call. Offer subject to change at any time. See website for details. Offer expires 12/31/23. See number 97152.
Tune in to 95.7 The Game for Warriors Live, 60 minutes before tip of every Warriors game throughout the season as we get you ready for the action. Brought to you by Xfinity, the Xfinity 10G network.
We get you right back to the KCBS Traffic Center. Cam is looking at still heavy traffic on Highway 17 in Los Gatos.
Yeah, a rough ride coming out of the Santa Cruz Mountains. It may catch you by surprise because traffic is light on the Santa Cruz County side. The hills there coming and going southbound, northbound. But if you're headed into Los Gatos, headed downhill, approaching the Lexington Reservoir, you've got a backup. Bumper-to-bumper traffic on that northbound at 17. Approaching a crash up ahead before Highway 9, right around the Main Street overpass there, car down an embankment. So the right lane is blocked. And that backup stretches to Idlewild. So delays coming into the Santa Clara Valley there. Once you get into the Silicon Valley area, the freeways are lightly traveled. We have one minor backup, a small crash on southbound 101 in San Jose just